We'll be talking about how DevOps as a team we can solve and we can help developers solve the Java out of memory issues. Fellow developers in the house, all right, a few. If at all you have faced Java issues at any stage in your production, so basically if it's an out of memory issue, you need some critical files like heap dump, thread dump, and for those you rely on your DevOps team because on production you do not have access because the DevOps team will not give you. Uh, Let me set some context here. So first things first, we are talking about Java applications deployed in the Kubernetes cluster. Uh, we are discussing here about how DevOps will help the developers in automating such stuff so that whenever the issue arises, you are able to debug it independently, seamlessly, so that eventually all of us want to reduce the MTTR. Uh, I'll instantiate on the problems what I am going to talk about here. So there are two problems. One is first. So there are enterprise solutions that can help you solve this problem. They'll provide beautiful UIs, beautiful user experience, but they come with a very high cost. And for smaller companies, there can be a budget constraint. And for teams where the tech team is very strong, they want to develop a custom solution tailored for their specific needs because even if like two companies have deployed Argo CD, both of them are using it differently, right? The second problem is of dependency, that even if you have deployed those open source solutions, the dev team still depends on the DevOps to get some sort of files from production, and this becomes an operation intensive task leading to delays and inefficiencies. Our action should be process dependent, not person dependent. So there should be a process in place that can help you debug seamlessly. In words of my manager somewhere here, we are a good DevOps team if we can plan a 5-day Goa visit without our laptops. So yeah, thanks. Before jumping in, after today's discussion, what I want is that if a dev team receives a pager for production and they have seen that it's an out of memory error, then critical files like heapdump should be auto created. They should be available at the time of the error so that we can reduce MTTR and devs have access to these files. So all this should be in sync and not be over a call कि access दे दो अब ये चाहिए अब वो चाहिए, इससे debugging slow हो जाए. Yeah, so again, in one line, final actionable is to find a solution to automate heap dump creation, collection, and delivery to the respective team 24/7. Issue कभी भी आ सकता है. A small slide to uh, define what is heap dump, thread dump, and what is the out of memory status stored in KTS. I'm not gonna read it. I'll wait. I'll take a pause for 5 seconds. Cool. So what are the possible ways? So we were last year we were facing issues related to out of memory in our application, and it took us a good amount of time to think through a proper solution, how we should propose a solution so that heap dump is created automatically and delivered to them. So our first solution was to use lifecycle hook with a pre-stop setting in the deployment manifest. Lifecycle hook is something that that helps the container know whatever the Kubernetes events are taking place, and based on those events, we can run a script based on a hook. So there are multiple hooks. The one we are using here is a pre-stop hook. Pre-stop is basically before a container gets the termination call. So we are running a simple script heapdump.sh and passing two variables, bucket name and the region. I don't think this would be visible to you, but the script is taking nothing but two inputs, bucket name and region, and the steps are that we run a jmap command to collect it up, and we were running AWS S3 CP to copy the file to the bucket. Now this solution, according to us, was one of the best solutions, and it should have worked. But what were the issues? So helpful heap dumps are GBs in size. So to transfer it to the S3 bucket, it requires time, right? And a container will be killed if the termination grace period second is less than the hook runtime, the pre-stop hook runtime, plus the stopping time of the container of the Java application. Can anyone define termination grace period seconds over here? Anyone? Yes.
It's default 30 seconds, but if you can handle it in
Correct. So basically, it's the grace period you provide to a container before it will get forcibly killed. So the problem we were facing is we do not know the hook runtime. It's a complete variable. It is a heavy command to run. So our container was getting killed, and finally we were losing the heap dump. So our solution was not working. So we moved on to solution 2, and what we did, we now started to run that same script in Java tool options. So Java tool options is something that you can provide in Java apps so that you can specify few values like memory, XMS, XMX. So so we thought that this has helped us. Why? That it's a kind of a shift left approach where we move the heap dump collection closer to the application instead of depending on Kubernetes. So this was our Java tool option. This is a snippet. So basically we wrote heap dump on out of memory. We provided the path, and finally over here you can see we are copying the file to this bucket. But again, if you can guess, this is the same problem. And again, if if AWS S3 CP will take more time, then again the container is killed and we lose the heap dump. So coming to our final solution, we thought of using persistent storage instead of ephemeral ones for heap dump in our application. Yeah. So how we implemented it? So obviously not using EBS, because in production you will have multi-replica deployments, and for EBS will give you a single mount. So if you have 3 deployments, you'll have 3 volumes, and we do not want that. So we use EFS because it supports multi-mount. And in EFS, we finally use a lifecycle rule that will transfer it to S3. So basically, this will remove all sort of dependencies. Application collects the heap dump again in, as you can see here, we still have this out of memory, we still have these 2 variables, we still have. So application is collecting the heap dump. Heap dump is persistent in EFS. Even if the container is still getting killed, we will always have the heap dump. We have moved it to S3 to reduce EFS cost. It's very low, but still, and we have increased accessibility. Developers have a good hand on AWS S3 commands and the UI as well. Now devs can debug independently, plus the MTTR is reduced. So before jumping on, I'll take a pause if you have any quick questions on how the setup is done, or I'll move on to the setup. No?
You must be writing another container continuously that synchronizes the NFS volume with the S3.
It's AWS EFS, so we have a lifecycle rule over there. Alright, so first things first, we created Amazon EFS. We are using AWS Cloud with some general settings, and we are using Terraform for it, so we created EFS using Terraform. The main thing to keep in mind is the access points while you create access point. So I'll come to this on the next slide. This is a simple storage class. So you can create a storage class manually, or if you use an EFS driver, it has the options where you can pass on the EFS ID and the access point ID, and it will create the storage class for you, one and the same thing. Next, you will create the PV where you will actually define the volume handle in case you are creating a storage class manually. So this will be your file system ID, and this is your access point. Next, coming to the PVC, which is simply taking storage from the storage class. And finally to your pod. And now again I have the access point screenshot over here. So why is this critical? Whatever path you have suggested here and whatever are the UID and GID, you have to use the same thing in the security context in your pod or deployment file. Why? Because look at the permission over here. So if you see, permission is 755. So which suggests that if I use other user, I won't have write privilege. So you have to use the same users in security context, same mount path, obviously, and finally you have the volumes, and your application will have EFS working. Yeah. So what were our learnings? I think I already told you about this. So basically you cannot mount the same path with another user. That won't be allowed. If you have to do it, you will have to provide right permission to other user as well, which I don't think anybody would want. Um, yeah, so once a path is created by a particular user in AWS, this is a service level limitation, or you can say a file system level limitation, that you cannot mount the same path by a different user in the same EFS. So either you have two options, either give supreme permissions or maybe all right permissions, or create a different EFS altogether. This bugged us for around a week, and last week itself we fixed it, and this solution is working seamlessly for us. Yeah. Uh, yep. That's all. Thank you. Open the questions.
The last time, what was
For EFS or for EFS? For EFS, we had to create a new EFS only because see, our EFS was not yet being utilized. We did not have any dump, so we had nothing to lose, and we had a Terraform code, so we simply deleted it and recreated the EFS. But the PVC, it's a single PVC, right? It's a single PVC. Access mode read write many. Correct. That is what we want, so that we can have one more. That's why not using EBS. Anyone else with any questions? Yeah. Audible? Yeah.
तो मैंने जावा में काम नहीं किया, but I had a question कि I don't know कि how much time does it take to create a heat dump. Can you tell me how much?
So, if you look at the definition of heap dump, it's a snapshot of all the objects in the JVM at a certain point in time. So, you actually do not know कि heap dump का size क्या होगा. Depending on that, multiple commands हैं. इसमें हमने JMap use करा है. JMap work for us the best according to the developers. So, ये हमने developers के साथ किया है. तो वो command पहले time लेगी to create the heap dump. फिर AWS S3 की अलग टाइम लेगी टू ट्रांसफर इट टू S3, क्योंकि हमें पॉड का एक्सेस नहीं देना. तो वो जो दोनों टाइम है वो कंबाइंड, हमें दोनों ही वेरिएबल है, दोनों ही नहीं पता, इसीलिए टर्मिनेशन ग्रेसफुल पीरियड हम डाल ही नहीं पा रहे थे. हम कितना डालें और कितना डालें, मतलब वी वोंट टेक इट बियॉन्ड 60-70 सेकंड्स, राइट? even if it is even if it is going there.
So if I understood correctly, the third solution that you provided कि हमें persistent volume create कर देगी कोड के साथ, and वो heat dump उसमें डाल देगा. तो अगर आप तो let's say सिक टर्म आया था उस टाइम पे कोड के पास, उसके बाद आफ्टर let's say 30 सेकंड उसके बाद सिक किल आने वाला है, लाइक रीबैलेंस की वजह से किसी की वजह से. तो अगर हमें वो टाइम पता ही नहीं है कि कितना टाइम लगने वाला उस हीट डंप को क्रिएट होने में, एंड से वो हीट डंप क्रिएट टर्मिनल ग्रेसफुल तो वो 30 सेकंड्स, लेट्स से हीट डंप 60 सेकंड में क्रिएट होने वाला है, बट हमारे पास वो 30 सेकंड्स का टाइम नहीं है, फिर वी गेट द सिक्योर. तो अगर वो क्रिएट ही नहीं हो पाया पूरा हीट डंप, देन पर्सिस्टेंट वॉल्यूम में करप्टेड डेटा पड़ा होगा.
तो I am not very sure about how this command works, but हमने heap dump creation Java tool option को provide ही इसलिए कर दिया, हमने Kubernetes से उसकी स्क्रिप्ट ही हटा दी ताकि Java एप्लीकेशन को ही जब पता हो कि वो आउट ऑफ मेमोरी जाने वाला है या वो उसके पास कॉल जैसे ही आएगी वो तभी क्रिएशन शुरू कर देगा. आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर अबाउट दिस, बट हमारा क्रिएशन कभी नहीं फटा, हमारा हमेशा सेंडिंग फटा. तो I think whenever we moved it to Java tool options, तब से हमारी creation is also working correct.
I think command execution, like he said, no, but the command you have already run, and the heap dump is already getting made out of the from the code. So any amount of heap would be helpful in debugging the code. So I think corrupted data का कोई वो नहीं है.
Yeah,
Okay, someone has another. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to know about the configuration you're using in your UPS study. What is the throughput we are getting? Do you have any number?
Right now we are using default. So because it's for just for the heap dump, and we are still exploring, and we cannot test it out as such because we need the actual heap dump की developer के पास वो कितना frequently requirement आ रही है, और throughput हमें इतना अभी define करने के लिए लग नहीं रहा. We have used the default values because उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है heap dump creation की, डेवलपर को इसकी रिक्वायरमेंट की फ्रीक्वेंसी क्या है, तो उस पर डिपेंड करेगा. मे बी इवेंचुअली वी चेंज इट, बट राइट नाउ वी आर यूजिंग डिफॉल्ट.
Okay, so everything all clear now?